Hello, my name is Jamie Bunting, and today I'll be explaining to a parent how their child can qualify for different services, intervention services that are available out there. The steps that they will take, first they have to go through a screening process because, again, we're educators, we are not psychologists or psychologists, and we cannot professionally evaluate a student based on what we know as educators. We know a lot, but we cannot evaluate, screen, and diagnose anything in the eyes of, that's why we have standards for things that make sense. So first they have to go through the screening process, which identifies exactly what they may have. If they're suspecting signs, they may go through an in-depth assessment and analysis of where they may need help. Also, teachers can provide their observations, and we can go over these in detail of the observations that I've taken and observed in my classroom and the knowledge that I have of your child through my own eyes. So this can be a vital part of the screening process, actually. Whether the child is eligible or not is after they've been screened. They must be screened to become eligible for intervention services. It's actually a diagnostic process to determine whether a child meets the criteria to qualify for the special services, especially in the educational system. There are many professionals and a variety of assessment instruments. Detailed classroom observations, the record keeping, and feedback are a critical part to the eligibility process as well. Remember, sometimes young children are given a specific diagnosis at this point in the process, but it's also common for the generic terms of developmentally delayed or at risk to be used. Professionals have decided that because delays are often successfully addressed with interventions, diagnosing or labeling a very young child is often counterproductive. So they tend not to do that. They stay away from that. Next step is intervention planning. This is when the team will identify developmentally appropriate goals. Depending on the age that they're at, they'll set an IEP and make sure that the child accomplishes certain goals based whether in each domain, social, whether it's language, social skills. If all areas need worked on and they're all lagging, and try and get them up to speed, we set goals, goals that are definitely challenging yet appropriate for where that child stands. They're reachable, they're attainable goals. So when the goals are written and the interventions are planned, every member of the child's team, whether it's the occupational therapist, the physical therapist, the different educators helping the student with, there's the speech and language therapist, but there's also teachers helping with reading if their disability allows them to. Whether it's the sight words and reading, a lot of it is life skills, so they may not go there, but there are many services that are provided at that point for the child. That's part of the intervention planning process. Last is the monitoring progress, or the progress monitoring step, where a schedule will determine exactly how to monitor this child. So there's both formative and summative assessments. They'll be conducted on usually a weekly basis, and you'll get a lot of information from both the formative assessments to help improve the quality and efficacy of your teaching and curriculum. Both the data from both types of assessments help the team to provide feedback to determine the success of the intervention and help guide the development of new individual goals. So there's constant monitoring of the progress of the student and making sure that they are progressing developmentally and appropriately. Again, this all is based on your consent. Parents must consent to the screening, to the eligibility, and must be an important part. They're a very vital part to the team, the overall team, and success of this child. So it's very important that they stay involved and up to date with the data and all the information that is taken while the students are assessed. So thank you for watching. Enjoy.